What up, everybody? Scuffy here. And this Legion will be unveiled soon. We're doing spoilers for the Agents of the Sigillite. This is what we're going to be getting into. Before we get into the actual spoilers, this is something I want to do a little different. Not terribly different. Please bear with me. This faction, from what I've seen, and I've only seen 3 cards, kind of want to point out a couple cards that it reminds me of. And maybe we'll do that after the fact. Maybe we'll just get into the cards themselves and you can kind of draw some lines and comparisons. Without any other cards to be able to see, it's kind of hard to see what this faction is going to be. But the Agents of the Sigillite are a very, very secretive faction, as it were. They're very secretive. And speaking of secretive, we've got the Relic of Old Night. That is their first and foremost secret. We're going to start off, they gather secrets, they gather relics, they collect things. We're going to choose a card in your hand, return it to your deck, and draw 2 cards for 1 energy. This is really interesting. As a tactic, it doesn't seem like it's a whole lot, but it really is kind of a cycle through in a different way. And we're going to see this with some other cards. I think not just the ones that I'm showing, but through the course of the game, the choose a card will tie in very similar to what you get with Arvis Lighter or other cards that let you choose an effect, and you get 3 different options to choose from. So when you choose a card in your hand, you'll be choosing one of 3 cards in your hand. I think we're going to see these choices. I think we're going to see a lot of flexibility to some degree, as well as a potency in like what they do and how they combo. This offers a lot of potential here as far as what this could do. By itself, not so much, but with other tools within the faction, maybe quite a bit. So let's take a look at another card that I think is interesting, that kind of adds to that element of intrigue. Palatial Intrigue. This is a 4 energy common. This again has a choose a tactic that your opponent played this game and put it in your hand. It costs 3 less. This is very interesting because for 4 energy, at the very least, you could play it early game and get a free mercy and forgiveness, or get a reduced cost, almost a reduced cost, Raven's Talon, other legendary, equipment items, or late game. You can get a lot more range. You're still just going to have this choice of choose a tactic, though. So if your opponent's played multiple tactics, you're only going to be able to choose from 3. So the longer the intrigue goes, basically, the wider pool of what your choices might be. But early on, you could really get what you want and get it cheaply. It's kind of similar to what we've seen with some Orphans of War cards, in terms of using the opponent's tools against them. This is a combination of that and Remembrancer Order, and with a little hint there of Armin's special cards. So this is very interesting. I like this card. I like the possibilities it can pull. But again, intrigue, making choices, changing your game plan based off of the opponent that you're facing, based off of what you need in the moment. And last but not least, it's just a common. I don't have a legendary to show off or anything like that, but I do have a troop. I've shown 2 tactics. I do have a troop. I've got Vardas Ison, who is a knight errant. And just for those who don't know, Vardas Ison was before he became a knight errant, he was a blood angel librarian. He later went on to become one of the select few who went on to found the Grey Knights. So this guy's story carries forward into the foundation of the Grey Knights. But his ability, stats, very nice. For 6 energy, you get a 5/6 body, who's got a basic 2 cost ability that deals 2 damage and gives can't attack until your next turn. And he's in Astartes, because the Knights Errant were Astartes. There's going to be tactics. We're going to get Astartes. We're going to get infantry. We're going to get espionage. We're going to get secrets. I'm really looking forward to this faction. I really am. But I want to get into, as I said, I want to talk about what some of these cards do really quick. Like, we talked about how Palatial Intrigue. is very similar to Ahriman's little special card here in terms of patterns of fate. You choose a trooper tactic in their hand. You reduce its cost by 4. Well, this lets you choose what they played, and then you reduce it by 3. So you get a little bit of that, but then you also get a little bit of the Orphans of War. That's right, they're unaligned. I keep forgetting. You get a little bit of whether it's stolen plans, maybe creating a copy of the card, or maybe it's something more along the lines of using double agent to kind of get a copy of a card, or just straight up pirate raid, as well as Remembrance or Order, which we talked about there. So there's just shades of intrigue and interesting choices just in that one card alone. The troops themselves, that's the only one I've seen, but I really feel like we're going to see a unique hodgepodge of tactics and abilities that are going to let you kind of control the board. I really think that the Agents of the Sigillite are going to be a control faction. I feel like they're going to be the next Alpha Legion without all the traps. Take those traps and shove it. Keep the orders. Secret orders are damn awesome. But get rid of the traps and give us some intrigue, give us some Palatial Intrigue, give us some spies, give us some cards that cycle and do things on our side. Maybe they'll get, rather than traps, maybe we'll get plans. I don't know. I hate speculating, and I'm going on and on about it, but I've only seen 3 cards, and I'm excited with what I've seen so far. I hope you are too. They're really basic. There's not a whole lot of super flash to them, but I think that they are going to have, I think they're going to resonate in how we play and execute the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing this faction on Friday. I hope you guys are too. And we were going to be keeping up and talking about the faction in the Warp Chatter podcast, so stay tuned with that. If that is something that you are intrigued by, if you would like to participate in that at some point, it's a podcast by players for players, and always happy to hear people. We just talked about the White Scars with Iron Duke. That episode will come out on Thursday, and last week we were talking about first impressions of the Sisters of Silence, so I'm looking forward to talking about first impressions of the Agents of the Sigillite very, very soon and sharing that with everybody here. So thank you for tuning in. I hope these spoilers have gotten you hyped for the next couple of days, because I've only seen just a smidge of them, and I'm hyped myself. So I'm looking forward to what this faction is going to add to the game and just kind of capstone this expansion, because this has been a great expansion. Imperial Fist, Sisters of Silence, Agents of the Sigillite. Let's go. All right, guys, until next time, keep playing Legions, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.